It's Rob, and we are back with the Plant Manifesto, baby. All right, so today I'm going to be introducing you guys to my cactus garden, also known as the cactus patch. So the cactus patch probably originated maybe like 2 years ago. I was in one of my favorite plant stores that has officially closed down, and I feel like they transferred it to a different name, and I haven't checked it out yet, so we will probably end up doing that at some point. But it used to be called the Heavy, and in the Heavy you could pick out a vessel, and then they would just pretty much fill it with cactuses, making it kind of like a centerpiece or whatever. So I used to see a bunch of them. I brought a small one originally, fell in love with it, and I was like, I want a big one of these. So I ended up getting a big vessel and then filling it with cactus, and that is how the cactus patch was born. All right, so here is the cactus patch finally in all of her glory. So a lot of these cactuses have been switched out. So I've had this for around 3 years. I'll say that this last round of cactuses have lasted a really long time. I haven't switched out anything in about a year. Some of the problems that I have with the cactus patch is this guy needs a lot of light, which I don't have a problem with in Florida. But the issue is that I put him outside where all the rest of my plants are. So yeah, it's getting a lot of light. But we live in Florida. I live in a place where it rains a lot. So a lot of the time, sometimes if I'm not home and this is getting rained on a lot, there is no drainage hole in this guy. I ended up choosing not to use a drainage hole because this was supposed to be a centerpiece for a table. So I didn't want the water being able to come out onto the table and ruin the wood table that I was on. So there was no option of there being a drainage hole. And now that it's pretty much already going, I still don't want to put a drainage hole in this. It could potentially crack it and just pretty much destroy the vessel that it's in. And I really like this black ceramic pot that I got. So drainage hole is not an option. So I have to watch out for the rain, and if I'm gonna have a problem with this, it's going to be rotting. So if you guys see that little spot right there, there's an empty little place right there. There was a cactus there and it rotted. So this is why we're dealing with the cactus patch today, because I'm doing a little rehab on it. So the cactus that I actually ended up choosing to replace and fill that spot is actually going to be this little green monster cactus. Isn't it cute? So the reason why I got it is because have you guys ever seen Spy Kids? Or of course you have seen Spy Kids. If you're watching this, then we get it together. But like that thumb, the little thumbs that were running around, this is what that reminded me of. I was like, this is a cactus thumb. I'm putting it in the cactus garden. Of course, why would I not? So to get this guy ready, I already removed the cactus that was in there because it was starting to rot. So I actually pulled it out. I'm gonna probably dig a bigger hole just so that it has more space to fit in there directly, and just to make sure that there's no of the old root. You don't want any like left parts that were dying, because this is not good for the plant overall. Okay, so as I was going ahead and digging it out, this part was actually dried up. So I was actually able to pull up the entire root ball from the old cactus. And this is exactly what you want to happen. I know that these are all the roots because this is exactly how they come. So this is a positive thing, being able to pull it out all at once. Keep your mind out of the gutter. But it definitely helps. And now it's getting ready for the other cactus. All right, so checking this little guy out. Overall, it looks healthy. Some of the roots are already starting to grow out of the bottom of here, so it looks like this guy's been growing well. That's a good sign. Okay, so I pulled this guy out of the pot, and it is not what I was expecting. These roots are very much more like plantish-like, while cactuses are usually in that ball form that you saw from before. So I wonder how this guy is going to adapt to being in the cactus patch. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. There is a lot of roots there, but then if you turn it, they're all growing on one side. So it's a weird plant overall. I really wish I could have recorded me trying to get this figured out and situated into the cactus patch, but it was a lot more harder than I thought it was. It took both of my hands, it took a lot of focus and attention, but I think I got it. Here is Mr. Thumb added to the cactus patch, and I feel like it looks good. The weird thing about cactuses, man, is that like they're always in there, but they're like moving, you know, like they're not always, their roots don't go super deep. So it's not one of those type of plants that these could all be easily pulled out of the pot, is what I'm trying to say. The roots themselves don't go super deep. So you always think that like, is it in the pot? And it is, but is it really? Like this guy, you can kind of see where all these roots are. And I'm going to cover this with some more rocks, but it doesn't matter because once I water it, it still will look like this. But these roots are fine. They're above, pretty much above the soil, and they're fine. But that's just kind of how cactuses work. Weird.